All right, guys. Me and Tripp's out here today. I'm Joey with Pro Rock Racing. This is my right-hand man, Tripp pulling. We're out here at L&W Fabrication. We've been hanging out all day with the team out here. We're going to do some install videos. We hope that y'all find time to watch these. And I know as customers, as you buy these things, hopefully this helps you in some form or fashion to maybe understand the process of how to get them installed or troubleshoot any issues. The quality is so great with these things. You're not going to be using misalignment tools and many other things that you hear about with some other companies. These things are direct bolt-on, no modifications to your brackets. Chet is back here in the back. Chet, wave to us. Chet's going to be helping us do a lot of work. He's the man here behind the scenes, one of the many who helps with a lot of the designs. He also does a lot of the installations in-house and makes sure quality assurance is there. With the fitment, with the strength, we've just went through a lot of videos where they've been testing strength of a lot of these products, so we're really excited. So what I want to show you today is we're sitting here with a brand new 2019 Razor. We're working on the front end here. We have a stock top red trailer or red A-arm, and then we have a stock black A-arm. As you can tell, already got a problem here. Had to replace the bottom one because it was broke already. So now instead of just putting another stocker on there, we're going to actually upgrade this to L&W. So we're going to get started. So basically, Chet, I guess we're going to get started from that square one. We're going to take the tire and wheel off right here. Tripp, you make sure he does that right.
Lefty loose.
All right, so tire and wheels off. Next, you want to grab your needle nose. We'll get this car key out right here. So Chet's probably done this, what, 2 times before?
Once or twice.
Once or twice, maybe.
There's low talent
a day.
There's low talent light
before lunch. All right, so that Carter key was a little tough on him. We're not going to beat him up about it. He got it out. All right, so now, once you go through this step, the next thing that you're going to want to do, let's turn these wheels a little bit so maybe they can see. You're actually going to want to, we're going to want to take off the main nut here, your axle nut. These are stock axles. What size nut are we looking at here?
Inch and 16.
Inch and 16ths. So you can take this off with a large socket and impact, or you can take it off with a large closed-in wrench if you have one. I'll show you a few different ways to get to it. Look at that right there. Real man. All right, so once you get to this point, I'm going to ask Chet, when you're installing these things, because you do it so much, where do you go next? Are you taking your steering rods off, or are you going to your top, upper, or lower AR?
If I'm replacing the whole suspension, first thing I'm gonna pull, I'm gonna jerk the tire rod off.
We're gonna jerk the tire rod off, which is great because we're gonna get rid of this stock tire rod today anyways. Tripp, reach over there and grab the tire rod, the L&W version. We're gonna show you what a beautiful billet, fully made, top to bottom in-house, misalignments and all, right here, L&W Fabrication. This thing's absolutely gorgeous, guys. Hope y'all can see that really clear. Checking that out. So this is a direct bolt-on part as well. It has adjustments in the heims, and it has adjustments just like the stock would on the back. So we'll get this thing fully adjusted out when we get ready, as he's taking off the steering rod. These things have L&W plates cut into them. Grease fittings come in them. These already have bushings in them. All models come with the bushings. So you can buy them separately. Who do y'all recommend to use as far as your bushings? James Shelley, side-by-side performance. James Shelley's a great guy with a great product. And you can see here that these don't have ball joints. I don't have to ask who were used for ball joints. Keller ball joints is what goes in just about 90% of all L&W arms. You can buy them through here. You can buy them directly through Todd on the website. But I don't recommend anybody ever leaving the shop or your house without Keller ball joints. You got to be able to get back home, and a ball joint is a vital piece that you can't ride without. Tripp, how many bikes you have with Keller ball joints?
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
If I get in it, it's got a Keller ball joint in it.
Tripp?
I don't even want to ride with nobody because I'm too, as they say, I done gained some weight. I ain't walking back. I'm running all their parts, Keller stuff, because I ain't walking back.
That's right. Tripp actually just went to Power Sports America today and picked up a brand new Razor. And the first thing he said is, hey man, you better get on the phone. We got to get some ball joints. We got to get some A-arms. He actually went straight from his house to Kentucky, picked it up, and drove all the way to Georgia to bring the bike here to make sure L&W can turnkey everything. And they'll do that for any customer you got. If you're close by proximity or you drive a long ways, you get it here, we'll get you hooked up and get you set up with everything that you got. So these are the arms, beautiful powder coat, done right here in-house. We gonna get back to it. Chet's already got the steering rod, took it off here. Steering rod, tie rod. He's released it from this area right here. We ready to go now. Are we gonna take the shock?
Full shock.
All right, so we're gonna secure the shock up and out of the way.
I'll secure it on up.
What size socket and wrench are we using
This is
here?
all 15 millimeters.
15 millimeters for your upper arm. There we go. So I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but we might can bring the GoPro in and catch it from another angle. We're going to take the sway bar off. So it's important at this step if you do, because right now, even if you were to release this bolt with the sway bar intact, it will not move. It will not let it go because the sway bar is doing its job. So we're going to release the sway bar now.
Now, I will say on our arms, a lot of questions. When you take the sway bar off, don't just take it off on the top. Take the bottom bolt also. We're going to swap it on, put it on the inside.
Okay, so just for clarification there, you got to drop the top and bottom, because with L&W's angles and what they found is when you move this bottom part of the sway bar to the inside, when you install the L&W arms, everything works more smoothly and aligns better. So that was a good pro tip from Chet here at L&W. What do you think we can be prepared for next? I've changed many A-arms in my day of many different models. You know, the older model razors didn't come with sway bars, and I will tell you this: if you run the older model styles without them and then ride them with them, it's definitely a piece of equipment if you're riding at any high speeds or of anything of that sort, that you do want to make sure that you have it adjusted correctly, it's not bent, and it's working properly. So it is important, like with L&W, many companies make these arms and they don't have certain brackets and things. They just leave them off or say, hey, it works better without it. Not exactly true. L&W puts the brackets on there. You can remove your sway bar all day, but they're not going to leave you stranded without an A-arm, without a bracket. And there's a lot of other companies that do, and sometimes they charge extra for it. It comes standard on all of our uppers here. All right, so we've just removed the sway bar. Where are we going to next?
Pull it out from your tie rod or from your ball joint.
Those are 15 millimeters as well?
Also 15 millimeters.
15 millimeters.
Give it a good little.
Just a good bump there. All right, so now we have freed the top, the free upper, and we can
The brake line just
pop your
right
brake
out.
line. Comes right out of this plastic fitting. Just let your brake line stay on. We do not suggest taking your brake line off. You have to bleed the whole system. It's not necessary. If this is your first time doing a removal of these things, anytime you take your brake line off, you can create extra work for yourself. So definitely don't want to go through those routes. You can actually relieve the whole brake system without removing that line. So just another quick tip for people who are just getting started in your razor journey. I don't recommend taking your brake line off unless it's absolutely.
Are you sure?
If you can't get it off, just break it off. Yeah, Trip, put your safety glasses back on.
I couldn't see real well with them.
All right, so right now what they're doing is they're removing the bolts on the inside. So just behind this panel, we might be able to bring the GoPro around and hit this shot. You got one on each side. There's two brackets there. As you can see, they've already removed this side and removing these. Are these also 15s as well?
Everything's 15.
15s, 15 millimeters. Just making sure that everything in this video, we want to make sure the accuracy's there. So, so far we've only used a couple different sizes to get to this point. Polaris and the engineers there doing a great job of making it simple, where you don't have to have a whole toolbox just to get the whole front end apart. Just a couple different sizes there. You got the 1/16 nut, you got the 15s, and then you got what lug nut.
Impact don't want none.
It's pretty tight, so
I put that on.
Trip claims
I put that on. I saw them out on the trail when they broke, and I just said, I know how to do it. Let me show y'all. Last little
All right, so I can sit here and tell you a lot of stories, but I can't sit here and tell you trips every word on a machine in a trail. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Levi knows, Sarah Dale knows. It'll be left in the woods for 3 weeks and a wrecker come get it before Trip fix anything on the trail. Need an extension? All right, Chet's doing a great job making sure that we're going through this process. So now they're removing the lowers. It's just like the uppers. There's 2 brackets, 15s, both sides of those, and we're getting those down.
Not gonna work.
All right, we're gonna get a little bit longer extension. Sometimes the angles of them and just how tight you have your bolts. Sometimes you gotta call in the big guns. So we got a little bit longer trying to get a better angle on it real quick. And that did the job. Then we'll slide it right out. Now Trip has the lower in his hands. So at this point, we're gonna be ready to bump it off. So look guys, using a rubber hammer with no metal edging, you can bump these things off, and you can safely do it without damaging your powder coat or the A-arm and get this thing out. I do not recommend installing any A-arms of any type with a stock ball joint. We see too many failures. So at this point, I'm gonna ask somebody to come on to the screen and check it out. We got a special guest. We're happy to have him with us today. Todd Keller, can you come into the frame with us here, man? Give that camera a big wave right there. Todd Keller with Keller Performance Products. We're happy to have him here on site. Todd, tell us a little bit about your relationship with L&W and how that's worked over the past couple years since they've got going in this world.
Well, we met at one of your Race to Riches event and got to talking about ball joints and razors, and that's pretty well where it went.
We're going to step over and we're going to show you the difference between some of his joints before we get ready to install one into the arms. All right, guys, so we're back with Todd, Keller Performance Products, and we're ready to start installing this. We're going to have Trip bring us in a piece. So, Trip, if you'll start with the lower A-arm. All right, so we got some more bolts. So we're using James Shelley Performance Products, Performance side-by-side bushings on this with Keller Performance Products ball joints, of course. Pull the back out a little bit. Slips right into place. Wow. It's like money. Can you see that back side right there? All right, so everything that you got right here is going to be 15s. So we're using an impact, making sure that we're torquing these things down. We'll go back through and final check it, making sure that we don't miss anything. Todd's got the nut run on the back side. He'll put that on the back for me. Tell me when he's ready. Snug that up. And we are ready to move on. We'll put the bolt on the other side. Come to me just a little. So these things line up beautifully. Now I have installed a lot of arms.
We didn't have to use a hammer or nothing.
I've never installed arms that fit quite like these. I'm going to go on and say maybe even not even factory fits like that much. All right, so there's your bottom. We got the bottom installed. These are beautiful arms. You can see the clearance here. We got the high clearance model. Also, it's just a great product. You saw how it just lines up like money. Every single piece, every single time. The quality of what they're doing in-house here to make sure that all of them bolt on. It's just really great.
But we can put the upper on, I guess.
We can go ahead and stick the upper on next, and then we'll be able to tighten these up, and we'll let Todd show you the process on how he does it and how he thinks is the best way to get that done. Alrighty, we'll start with the short side.
I gotta get
Yeah, take this out. think it goes from the front. All right, so you drop it in from the front, nut on the back. Use a long extension on this side. Again, these are all 15s. Might have to use the medium size extension. Long enough? Yeah, that'll work. All right, Todd's gonna get that hand tightened. Alrighty, so we went ahead and dropped both bolts in while we had it up. You can see there, no misalignment tool needed. Everything fits like a glove. This is a stock razor that has been rode some, so it's not like it's just untweaked off showroom floor. This thing's seen some trail time, seen some parks, seen some expos, and it still fits perfectly. So we got them tightening up right here. We might be able to get in closer with the GoPro shot right here. We're just tightening the back side, getting ready to go. Yes, okay.
Can you get on it?
Yeah.
We can get on.
Got the nut here.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna get up under here. All right. Tighten all those. Did we tighten the back side?
Haven't tried to get it, we'll get it.
Thing down till you get it good and snug. All right. Finish that off. So, Trip, if you want to remove the axle nut that's holding the brake system on, and we'll be ready to drop the bottom A-arm in. Yep. We're going to hold this back out of the way while he sets the final settings, and now that these are on the machine and it's going to be a stable base, he's able to actually torque these down to the correct specifications and to be able to set everything in place to make sure there's no issue with the ball joint install. Got that good and tight. What size are you going to need over here? You're going to need the 1 3/8 and the 3/4
Yep.
and the 1/4 inch.
And the other. So typically we recommend 150 foot-pounds of torque. We didn't have a torque wrench. A lot of guys don't have an 1 3/4 socket. We found a 1 3/8 wrench in the box over there, so we're just going to tighten it. We're going to bear down on it pretty good, but you're not going to over tighten it doing it by hand. But if you have a torque wrench, 150 foot-pounds on this.
Todd putting 100% man in that. All right.
And that should be good.
All right, go ahead. So he's getting these things good and tight. Like I said, you're not really going to be capable of overdoing it by hand. And now he's going to set the tops that we talked about a little bit earlier.
So once again, we'll run this adjuster down till it touches. Back it off about a 1/16. You don't want them to feel tight like a factory one because you need to have some clearance in there for grease to move around, and they are metal on metal, so
you go. Good snug
And-
fit
and-
on your jam.
Typically, these are 50 if you have a torque wrench. And then once again, we always recommend tapping up on that and checking for input.
Make sure, that's right, no play.
Yep. I actually had that one a little loose. I wasn't watching what I was doing.
So that was a great thing to show them actually, Todd, is, you know, it's easy to make those small mistakes. So that little check right there allowed him to know, hey, it's a little loose, and now he can check it, and he can make sure he's getting all the play out of it. And he's just adjusting it a little bit each time. He don't want to get it over tight, but he also don't want any of that play in it. And now we got a good smooth joint that feels great.
It almost fall. No slop up and down.
No tinging, no noise.
Yep, no.
That's what you're looking for.
So she's perfect.
And repeat the process on the bottom.
Just a little loose.
So this does require sometimes, this here is a really finesse step that you need to make sure you get right here, right?
Well, I just need to get it right the first time, you know. It don't hurt to just loosen it up and double check it again.
Same thing, that little tap
Because when
allows you to know.
and that's what, when I tapped that, it probably felt right when I was doing it. It probably had some grease in there holding it apart.
Right.
So when I tap that, it spits that grease out, and now we're back to right where they need to be.
All right, Todd, so you feel good about that?
Yep, no click. And then you use a needle point grease gun, give them a shot of grease, and we're gonna get the boots on.
Okay.
All right, so let's slide the boots on before we move further in the process, and we'll be ready to go.
And then get some zip ties.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll show them how to put the zip ties on as a finished product, how they slip around just the base of the actual joint itself, where he told you in the earlier part of the video, you don't want to drive that in because that lip has to be exposed to be able to hold the boot. All right.
So easy trip pulling can do it.
GoPro just jumped clean off when he said that.
They have no check.
Yeah, I'm getting to the age where I need reading glasses.
I wasn't gonna say anything. He's used to all these mega joints. He's gonna have to have big glasses now, big Coke bottles.
He may be on the wrong kind of joint, if you know what I'm saying.
Uh-oh.
Well,
No, this is the only joint I mess with. I ain't got time to do anything else.
Kids at home, stay off drugs. All right, so you see he went ahead and he put the one at the base that we talked about earlier, that he did put the additional at the bottom for those of you who want that extra security and to keep that stuff in. So very simple install. He did that in probably about a minute and a half, nothing to it. Now he's moving on to the second part of it. Very easy. See, if you can see in this video at home, he goes ahead and starts it so he can just loop it in there and pull it tight, and it's just as simple as that.
Now they are just like 15-pound foot or rated, so you can't just lean on them like no other. You know, you just snug them down.
Right, just want to snug these things down nice and simple.
Now this lower one, it's a little trickier. You kind of hold down on the boot so you can get that up underneath that lip.
Still not that hard of a process for a little bit of extra security there. And these are all provided by you within your kits with your ball joints.
They are, along with the instruction sheets. And we have a video up on YouTube that you can reference, and some side cutters, and
We got some right over there. Look at it. Ready to go with a knife. Trip was going to do something with some snips, but I'm glad Glad he put those down.
He got a glass on.
Yeah, he ain't got his, Trip don't got his safety glasses on. I'm glad he put those snips down. He's liable to cut his eye out. All right, Todd. Well, your part of this, I guess, is done. And man, those things sure do look pretty in those L&W arms. We appreciate you coming out and helping with the install.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. All right, me and Trip's gonna finish this thing out. We ain't gonna do a whole lot of talking. We're just gonna do a whole lot of finishing. So y'all sit back and enjoy the show. All right, so me, Trip, and Levi with L&W is gonna finish this thing out right here. This is our first time ever doing this. No, just kidding. We've done this many times. Slide everything into place. So we got the misalignments on the pins. So Levi, I'll hold that if you want to kind of show the camera what that looks like and how that's going to work.
You want to do that first?
Yeah, we can.
Which one? Look at the ball.
Yeah, well, you show the camera how this works and what that looks like, and me and him will drop the ball joint in.
Comes in two pieces. This is your top, this is your bottom.
There we go. Let Trip slide the nut on that side.
We want for the bottom.
Dropping these in. Remember, both of these and all of these other pieces of the suspension are actually all the same size as 15s. Makes it really simple to be able to set up on here and get it all done. Levi coming in with the swivel point suspension. Tightening the top. Tightening the bottom. Now what size? 19. They're actually 19. I called out the wrong number. Levi just corrected you. So. Yeah, Rick? We want to tighten these things down nice and tight. So, the only thing we need now is we need to secure our brake line. Sway bar. And put the sway bar on. And we'll drop the shock back into place. All right, guys, so at this point, we've already secured the ball joints, everything's installed. We're gonna secure the brake line. Trip, what are you doing?
That's what I've always used.
A zip tie?
Yeah, man.
This is L&W fabrication. Now, we don't use zip ties. We have brand new billet holders. I don't know if y'all can see that, but check that out. It's got a lip just for your brake line. 2-screw application. Levi, show us how this thing installs and what it looks like when you're done. Man, we don't do zip ties. We don't do cheap stuff. Going the extra mile making these small products to keep it clean and to keep your brake line safe. It's a very important part of your ride. Everybody likes to go fast, but you got to know how to stop too. Yep.
Awesome idea.
Beautiful setup right there. Hope y'all can see that at home and how awesome that is. And he installed it in a matter of maybe a minute. So now we're going to move on and we're going to reinstall the sway bar. Now remember about the sway bar, when Chet was here at the earliest part of this video, he told us that it's going to look just like it's going to install as factory, but you want to move it from the outside of the lower part of the bracket to the inside, and what that'll do is allow it to line up better and actually functions properly at that angle. So we're going to do that now. Slide this piece in. We're going to do the top side first. There we go. If you'll hand me the drill.
Big.
15.
Yeah.
Go. All right. Shit's gonna hold it inside. All right. All right, everything's nice and tight. We're gonna put the shock back on at this point.
Oh man, I cut the rock.
Cut the rock light. Sorry, Ricky. No, we didn't. We got Ricky. It was the zip tie.
You'll need more than safety lights.
Oh, more than safety glasses. All right. Down just a hair. There she goes. Dropping this all into place. 15 again. Yep. For the final time.
Right here, buddy.
Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
That's all she wrote. All right, guys. So now we have the whole front end aligned.
You talking about some beef?
This is pure beef.
I'm ready to send it.
I'm ready to show them the whole side right here.
Look at that.
This is how it all looks. Guys, high clearance. We've got the Keller ball joints, the steering rods. Everything's looking great. All we got to do now, stick the tire on, and we'll align the front end and make sure that everything's good with the new tire rod, and we're ready to go riding with confidence. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Be looking for our others. Check out lnwfab.com, Pro Rock Racing. We have a great partnership with LNW. We value what they do, and we're excited they asked us to be here. And thank you to Todd Keller for coming out and making the trip to come be a part of this video. Check out Keller Performance Products. And guys, if you have any questions, just drop the comments in this video or hit us, any of us up on Facebook. Thanks. Have a great night. You got anything, Trip?
Come see us.
Come see us. See you guys.